Who's the scariest neighbor you've ever had? After my divorce, I moved into a quiet duplex, hoping for peace. My next-door neighbor, Mrs. Glenn, was in her 60s. Gray hair neatly pinned, always in pastel sweaters, always smiling. She watered her garden every morning, baked cookies, and seemed like the perfect neighbor. At first, I thought I was lucky. But then the strange comments began. The first was at the mailbox. She glanced at me and said, "How's your left knee doing, dear? That scar must still ache when it gets cold." I froze. No one here knew about my skating accident when I was 9. I brushed it off, telling myself maybe I'd mentioned it before. A few days later, as I walked my dog, she called out, "Better keep him inside next Friday." Fireworks upset dogs, especially after what happened that July 4th in 2003. My blood went cold. She couldn't know that on July 4th, 2003, I'd watched a house fire in another state, hundreds of miles away. From then on, I started listening carefully. One morning, she mentioned how I used to bite my nails as a kid. Another time, she asked if I still had nightmares about that basement. What basement? Finally, I knocked on her door. She welcomed me in like an old friend, poured tea, and when I asked how she knew so much, she said, "Oh, honey, you were such a curious little girl. Always sneaking into the garage when your uncle told you not to." I nearly dropped my cup. That garage, the one where my uncle kept his stash, the one I accidentally found when I was 12. Only 3 people knew about it, me, my uncle, and my therapist. My therapist had been dead for years. Shaking, I left and called my landlord that night. I told him I wanted out. He didn't sound surprised. "You too, huh?" Every tenant next to Mrs. Glenn breaks their lease within 3 months. I demanded to know why. He only said, "Some people have gifts others find." Uncomfortable. Still, before leaving, I needed answers. So I went back one last time. Her house looked normal, lace curtains, old furniture, the faint smell of lavender. But then I noticed her mantle. Family photos lined it. Except, every single picture showed the same woman. Sometimes younger, sometimes older, in different decades and different families, but always Mrs. Glenn. She caught me staring and chuckled. "Time works differently for some people, honey." I asked what she meant. She only smiled and sipped her tea. Then she said something that made my skin crawl. "Most people think the scary ones are the ones who hurt you. But the truly terrifying ones are the ones who know everything about you and choose not to use it." The teacup rattled in my hands. She leaned forward, patted my knee, and whispered, "I could have told everyone about that garage. About why you really moved here. But I like you, Lena. You remind me of myself. That's why I only shared the small things." I stood to leave, legs trembling. She walked me to the door, still smiling. Just before I stepped out, she tilted her head. "You really were my favorite. One of the few who never told anyone about the basement." My heart stopped. "What basement?" I whispered. "I've never seen any basement." Her smile didn't falter. "Oh, sweetie. You spent 3 hours down there last Tuesday, don't you remember? Looking through all those boxes of photographs?" I ran, straight into my car, straight to a hotel 2 towns over. From there, I called my landlord and told him to donate everything I left behind. I never went back. But sometimes in dreams, I see those boxes of photographs, faces staring at me from the dark, and in the background, always that same smile.